So let's speak to Komla Kluche to tell us what preparations look like ahead of his address after the EC has declared the results. Hello, Komla.
General elections. This is the atmosphere in the office. You see media men really packed already, awaiting the response that John Mahama would be given once the Electoral Commission declares it. The table is set. You can see some party executives, old ones as well. Several people are really outside of the premises, but this is how the whole office area looks like in terms of preparation, awaiting John Mahama's address. I can tell you it's been quite a static, especially from the morning till some part of the afternoon. But a good number of people are trooping in here, awaiting John Mahama's arrival. But one person who has been quite deep in the campaign, even though, in the election of the national officers some 2 years ago, he was not successful, but vigorously campaigned for the election of John Mahama. He is a former national chairman of the party. He was also a former director of elections for the party, Samuel Ofosu Ampo. We would engage him first off to take his opinion on a delay from the Electoral Commission. What do you make of the delay? I mean, in just about an hour or so, the Electoral Commission will hit the 72 hours. What it is that is of concern to you with respect to the delays?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for the opportunity, and let me use this opportunity to also congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the first female Vice President-elect, Excellency Professor Jaina Pokwa-Jiman, all our MPs-elect, and also commend the party executives right from the national to the region, constituency to the branch level, and all progressive forces who came together to prosecute this very, very successful elections to bring us to where we are now. We want to give thanks to the Almighty God for granting us this victory, a victory that is very decisive, a victory that is very comprehensive, a victory that shows that Ghanaians have spoken, a victory that shows that God wanted to do something for Ghanaians by using John Dramani Mahama. But let me hasten to say that I am very worried as somebody who has followed the electoral processes all over the place since 1992 till now. I have been on my park for about 17 years. I have been a national organizer of the party for 9 years, director of elections, and so I am getting a little worried because I don't see why by this time the Electoral Commission shouldn't be able to declare this results. I was even worried right from the word go when they brought this whole idea of regional coalition, because I thought that regional coalition was an unnecessary layer that they were bringing. Otherwise, you do a two-layer, you declare the result from the constituency and transmit it directly to the Electoral Commission headquarters. We do the tabulation and then we are good to go. So I really do not understand what should keep the Electoral Commission from declaring the result, especially at a time.
Is she not standing on the side of caution?
At a time that the main opponent for almost a day now had conceded, and he has conceded, and there are I don't think there are any serious challenges, and so we should be mindful of the constitutional mandate that has been given to the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission is supposed to declare the results within 72 hours. We are almost close to that to 72 hours, and any delay will cause unnecessary tension. People will not understand what is happening, and people will read all sorts of meaning into it. And we cannot control the action of people when they decide to, let go whatever their feelings are. So my caution to the Electoral Commissioner and the commissioners is that they have a sacred responsibility to ensure that they protect and preserve the peace and tranquility of this country. Ghanaians have spoken, and they have spoken loudly. The Electoral Commission should not be any impediment in the way of peace. They should declare the results and declare it as quickly as possible before we hit the deadline of 72 hours.
To have obtained, two-thirds majority and almost over it, what did it take the NDC for you to achieve this feat?
First of all, I think it took unity. There was unity of purpose. There was synergy that was drawn from every nook and cranny of the country. Everybody was on the field working. Everybody put their shoulders to the wheel, and then we did not relent. And you see, in electioneering campaign, it is the one who have proper ground organization and proper D-Day strategy who will be able to pull the numbers down. Because after all the campaign, what the bottom line is how to implement a very successful GOTV. And when I say GOTV, it's a strategy called Get Out the Voters. If you don't implement a very successful GOTV, you do the campaign on election, the people will not come. I think NDC adopted a proper GOTV. We decentralized the campaign. We make sure that every branch works, everybody went to his constituency. So this is an election where you saw convoy of everybody moving in one direction. Senior members of the party, the national chairman one way, the running mate another way, the general secretary another way, the youth organizer another way, the communication officer, the parliamentary leaders, everybody, former ministers of state, the cadres, everybody was playing a certain role. And so it was an all-hands on deck approach. Can say that it was a multi-system approach to campaign organization, and that is what has paid off. Again, let me also say that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama waged a very strong campaign. I have moved with him, at least I have worked with him. We have gone through the 2016 campaign, 2012 campaign together, traversing across all the nation, 2020 campaign, and I know how difficult and energy-sapping campaigning at the national level is concerned. How God gave him the energy. For this time round, he never lost his voice. Contrary to 2020 and thereabout, and I think that the grace of God was on him. He gave him the strength, he gave him the tenacity, he sent a very strong message, a message of hope to the good people of this country, a message of hope to the youth, to the women, to the children, to the unemployed, to the aged and everybody. And I think that they bought into the message, and Ghanaians really responded. Again, let me also say that it was a response, the Ghanaians' response to the arrogance of power that was displayed by the Akufo-Addo and the state. They took Ghanaians for granted. They didn't take Ghanaians serious. And so Ghanaians decided that at that time, anybody who gets up to talk, you are either attacked, you are labeled, you are threatened. So everybody decided that they will keep the anger in them and punish Bawumia and Akufo-Addo when the day of voting comes. And I think that's exactly what the good people of Ghana has done, and they have given us a very, very decisive, sweet victory.
How does that put a pressure on John Dramani Mahama? He has only 4 years as a mandate, non-renewable, but the concern is the pressure it puts on him, because he does not only have to satisfy the good people of your party, but the generality of the people, especially the entirety of Ghanaians who have reposed confidence in him to give him this amount of vote.
The good news is that John Mahama is the experienced driver who knows the destination he's taking this country. So from day one, John Mahama will start implementing his policies. He's on top of his job. His job was truncated somewhere. He knows everything. I can assure you that this is an election where the NDC has prepared the governance phase more than the campaign phase. And so the governance phase is going to be very smooth. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He knows the first step that he's going to take. And so it will not be difficult at all. I believe that the burden and the demand on Ghanaians on him will be huge. But I think he has the knowledge, he has the experience, he has what it takes to be able to soak the pressure and to calmly deliver on the mandate that he has promised the good people of
120 days right after swearing in, the media is going to start counting the days. There's a specific he made a promise specifically for what he's going to deliver within 120 days. The media will start to tick those days. Would you be surprised if he doesn't make it?
I believe he will make it, because it was a well thought through manifesto. It was a well thought through action plan that was put in place. We are all holding the 120-day promise that he gave to the good people of this country. And I believe that everybody who has a role to play will definitely ensure that we play that role to help him to succeed.
Okay, all right. Many thanks, Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. You can see in your shorts the national campaign chairman of the party. Good afternoon, Prof. Congratulations are in order. For you, what does this victory, quite emphatic though, from the good people of Ghana mean to the NDC, and what is the pressure that it puts on the president-elect John Dramani Mahama?
I've always maintained that when you are in any position, the people's position, you have to serve the people. Serve the people to the best of your ability. And in serving the people, you have to give respect to them because they kept you there. In all places that I have worked, what I take out of the place is the respect I give the people. I didn't see this in the government. And you could see impunity, mismanagement, arrogance. And Ghanaians waited because the constitution has given us 4 years. So the reason why no military man pushing aside because of the 4 years that we've given ourselves. So we're all waiting for the 4 years. So it's 4 years and we have the power to change. And it's the people who have to change. So I call this the People's Democratic Revolution. And in a revolution, everybody gets on board and everybody protests the revolution. What we have seen tells all of us to be very humble in whatever we do, serve the people to the best of our ability. We should admit where we go wrong and find ways and means to correct them.
Okay, all right. Many thanks to you. Professor Joshua Alabi is the campaign chairman for the John Dramani Mahama 2024 campaign bid. Okay, so this is Haruna Idrisu. Haruna Idrisu in your shots there is the Tamale South MP and also a former minority leader. Well, it appears that the place is getting jam-packed and full. What does this mean to the NDC? I know you have been a former leader, a former minority leader, to have, I mean, well over 2/3 majority of seats to go into Parliament with 2025. What does it mean to you?
It means that President John Dramani Mahama will govern with ease, and the Ghanaian people have given him an eloquent pronouncement that we are vesting our faith, trust, and the future of our lives in you. And the Ghanaian people have also eloquently said that they want to see an end to impunity. The impunity of the Nana Addo Dankwa Bawumia government. The Ghanaian people have also made an eloquent pronouncement that they want a healthy democracy. And the mere transition of power from the MPP to the NDC will rejuvenate our democratic processes, our democratic institutions. What President Mahama will be guided with and should be guided with, and we should assist him, is to honor the faith of the Ghanaian people, to govern with humility and to govern at all times, knowing that the Ghanaian people are standing behind him saying, if you do fail us, we'll fail you tomorrow. So, and I'm confident, given where President Mahama is coming from, he's had the combined experience of president, former president, sitting back and observing a failing government and a failing president. He has no reason to fail the Ghanaian people.
Be honest with me, were you expecting that?
Oh, go back to my interview. I said 153. I said we're going to do 147 to 153. It's public. I said we'll form a majority in Parliament, but I was conservative with my numbers. But I said from 147 to 153. I remember I said that by 9 p.m. Mian will be declared for John Mahama in his presence. So I choose my words carefully and I know when to speak and what to say. So this vote, the rejection of Nana Addo and Bawumia, must be a learning test for every political office holder and every politician, that don't take the electorate for granted. Don't ever take the electorate for granted. And Ghanaians do it silently and quietly without you knowing what is in their thought. So we have to pray for President Mahama to succeed. He will inherit a very challenging economy, particularly between 2025 to 2027, but he will weather the storm. He will weather the storm. He would have to address the growing unemployment in our country. 24-hour economy must provide some new opportunities. I expect him to initiate some major constitutional reforms that strengthen some of our democratic and public sector institutions, and he will do just that.
Finally, for me, we're getting reports of some of your supporters ransacking offices and all that. That should be of concern. And from your back here.
The General Secretary of the party, Fifi Kwete, drew my attention to it. It's under control. I'm speaking on radio to calm them. This is not the way to behave. That's criminal. I don't subscribe to it. I don't support it. The police must deal ruthlessly with any person who wants to undermine it. And then, you see, the Ghanaian people also eloquently said, Nana Addo Dankwa and Bawumia, stop undermining democracy and learn to fight corruption. Don't run family and friends government.
Okay, many thanks, Haruna Idrisu. I'm just seeing the spokesperson or the special aide to John Dramani Mahama, Joyce Bawumia Muktari, who is just drove into the yard. Let me just see if I can just catch a quick word with Auntie Joyce. She's just trying to get on let me just get her. She just want to get out of the car. But I mean, this is how the whole area looks like. The cantonment office of John Dramani Mahama. You see, the place is getting jam-packed and jam-full. And the expectation of people is that because of the resounding victory that the people of Ghana have given to John Mahama and the NDC, governance will take a different turn, and to the effect that they will not have any impunity. These are words of the speaker I spoke to a short while ago. But Joyce Bawumia Muktari, congratulations are in order. How does your boss feel about this amount of votes that he's had and the 2/3 majority it's appearing he's going into his administration with?
Well, I am sure that we are very, very grateful to the Almighty God. And you know my boss, when there's so much excitement, he remains so calm. Sometimes I wonder what's going through his mind. But I must be very honest with you, Komla. We are deeply honored. We are so humbled by this phenomenal support from the good people of Ghana. This is a referendum on the failed state of Akufo-Addo's governance. It's as simple as that. So I don't even credit everybody, with anything but to say that Ghanaians have spoken against impunity. They have ended corruption. They have ended disrespect. Above all, they have proven that our democracy, even in this nascent state, is still the way to go. Komla, I look around it and I imagine that in 2016, we were told very bold that they won by votes. In 2020, they won by over 400,000 votes. In 2024, the good Lord has given John Mahama the votes of 2016, the votes of 2020, and added even some. And the best part is that Ghanaians are also telling us that the hanged parliament served no useful purpose. Indeed, the gentleman who was actually feeling so big to want to be called a minority or majority leader returns to parliament now with no caucus. This should tell you that our leaders must take a cue from John Mahama. Humility, even in leadership, is alluring, is beautiful. They speak about a one-term president as if it is a disrespectful thing. Today, Bawumia has become the signature of Akufo-Addo's failure. And I believe that Bawumia should be ashamed of himself today because he knows that he did not conduct a fair campaign. He didn't run the campaign in a way that was respectful. And one thing that I think stays with me is the fact that Sarah, our second lady in 2016, the insult rained on John Dramani Mahama and his family. I am delighted that today God has humbled Samira, that a man your father's age, you should not speak to him in the manner in which he did. Only that aspect pleases my heart and makes me realize that we must at all times conduct ourselves in the way that when their voices are played back to us, we will be able to own up to them. Komla, I speak largely to the good people of Ghana on behalf of John Dramani Mahama. I ask that we pray that we will hold their faith very, very carefully. I hope that we will respect their wishes and their views. I listened to someone today on your network, and he said the best thing about John Mahama is that John Mahama is a man who listens. He respects people's views, divergent views. He is a tolerant man. But he knows one thing for sure, that John Mahama understands the exigency of the day, and that Jem will deliver on his promise to the good people of Ghana. Today we are all waiting for the Electoral Commission. Hopefully in the next few hours there will be a formal declaration. I know there's another team at the home waiting for His Excellency, the President-elect, John Dramani Mahama. And very, very soon we will all listen to a declaration, and hopefully he'll be addressing the nation at 7 p.m. to the glory of God. And let me say that in 2016, a friend of mine told me on a lighter note that I was actually the failure of the NDC. I'm delighted that today God has also made me a part of the success story of JM's comeback. And I'm humbled and grateful to all of you, especially you in the media, your support, our drivers, all the security men, the many volunteers, our national executive, our National Communications Officer, the General Secretary, our Chairman, Asiedun Ketia, the running mate, Jane Nano Pokwajima, and the many teams that stepped out the day and night. You know, look, for all of us today, let's celebrate those who followed the ballots, those who dedicated their lives at the collation centers, those who spent hours queuing out there to cast their ballots.
Would you agree there's no honeymoon for John Mahama?
Why would he even want a honeymoon? When you've enjoyed this overwhelming support, it actually behoves on you to hit the ground running.
120 days. I know you and I have had discussions in the back room, and I have told you of how the media would be counting not just the 120 days, but also stick to the specific issues he raised in terms of the promises. 120 days, the media will be counting. What is the conviction of you that John Mahama would deliver or stick to the specific issues he's raised on delivering within the 120 days?
Let me say one thing that I know for sure. That I looked in the crucible yesterday, and I looked at the numbers that have given their support to John Mahama, and I said one thing: with the kind of parliament that he has, the constitutional amendment review process should be something that we start with immediately. The operation Recover All Looted Assets should start immediately to end state capture. The third thing is that every effort to manage our public debt should be instant, and that is something that his own modesty would probably clearly put in proper perspective. The next thing is that Ghanaians are starving. There's so much hardship. The minute the economy bounces back, the minute we stabilize the city, the minute we actually manage to stabilize the exchange rates, make no mistake, things will immediately start to improve. But I want to make myself an ambassador for everybody who has gone through this hardship, that we will ensure that we deliver on the development things that will go a long way to ameliorate the hardship of the many Ghanaians who have gotten multi-dimensionally poorer under Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Okay. It is for them that I celebrate this win today. Okay,
many thanks, Joyce Bawumia is the aide to John Dramani Mahama. Let me see if I can get a few people to talk to as well. Obobia Dako is here. Let me just have a quick word with Obobia Dako. Congratulations are in order. For you, you represent the young people, especially, you know, I've seen the work you've done with the young ladies. What sort of hope does this victory bring to them in terms of one, education, also in terms of liberating them, and what does the future lie for people who look up to John Mahama, especially the younger generation who are ladies?
I simply think that just this win should motivate them enough. They should know that those of us who have been on the road, been into the constituencies, been into the tertiary institutions, campuses and all, this is what we were preaching. It's important that they understand that so far as we are there, whatever it is that we promised, whatever it is that we preach will come into fruition. So I'm happy about this win. It gives us a chance to deliver exactly what our promises were so far as the youth of this country are concerned.
What is the pressure going to be like on John Mahama within the 4 years?
I simply think that he has a lot to do, and it's important that we don't take it for granted. The country has been run down completely, and he's virtually going to start from the scratch. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on him, but knowing the man John Dramani Mahama, I know he will deliver. I know he's ready for it. I know that he knows what he's in for already, and he's ready for the task.